Okay, let's start then. So, as Ben mentioned during the webinar, we have several surprises. We are going to share some live predictions for the market. We are going to analyze together which stocks, which sectors are going to lead the market in May, and how we can utilize artificial intelligence in order to identify the best opportunities in the market right now. Before we will jump right into the market, we will start with a quick overview of I Know First, what we are doing, the team, and the technology. So I Know First, we are an AI fintech company. Our main solution is a predictive algorithm that generates daily forecast for the financial markets and identifying the most promising investment opportunities in the market. We are utilizing deep learning, artificial neural network, genetic algorithms to predict the financial market. Our predictive algorithm is generating daily forecasts for over 13,500 assets from different asset classes, equities, ETF, commodities, currencies, interest rates, and also world indices with daily forecasts for multiple timeframes, short-term, mid-term, and also long-term. This is a global solution. We are covering over 50 global stock exchanges around the globe, including, of course, the stock exchanges in US, Europe, Japan, China, Hong Kong, and more. In this webinar, of course, we are going to focus on the US market and what's happening in the market basically right now. And talking about the US market, Ben,
Yep,
what do we see here?
We're giving you a live prediction from today. This is the top 20 package that was sent to our clients. Of course, you see only the 5 leading stock here, and basically they have a 20 stock here. But let's just check the results from the market. I took it just before we started this webinar, and we can find the XRX is jumping by 30%. We can see team by 6%, STX by 1.43, and BRBR with 5.52. Those are the 5 leading stocks from the algorithm for a 7 days forecast from today, and we're gonna learn everything about the numbers you're seeing here. Don't you worry about that. But just to give you a quick example of our forecast and the algorithm ability. So we can see XRX, which is the XRX Holding, that is providing print and digital document solutions. It's jumping by almost 14% just from now, and that's quite awesome for just the first leading stocks in that specific forecast. But we're gonna talk about it about this package and this forecast later on. I want to talk about one of the leading stocks that everybody is talking about lately, Intel. When here we can find the chart of Intel from April 2026 until right now. And I want to focus on 2 interesting dates that we are seeing here. The first one is the 7th of April, as we can see it in this line. And another one is the 23rd of April. And what's interesting about those exact timings is that the algorithm actually gave a really accurate forecast about Intel in those dates. If you had the hedge fund forecast that we're going to talk about later on, or the computer industry forecast, you would see that Intel would be one of the 5 leading stocks here, as we can see here. This is a forecast from 8th of April 2026, almost a month ago. And we can find Intel here as one of the 5 leading stocks, and it actually jumped by 23%. In the 24th of April, in the same, we can see another forecast. And this time is a 7 days forecast. We can see the date or the time frame at the top left corner of each and every forecast. and we can find Intel is already jumping by 49% from the 24th of April. Those 2 days were an amazing timing for the algorithm to actually give us a long position forecast. And Intel in that period made almost 90% from the 7th of April, which is pretty amazing. And we see and we're going to learn about the algorithm and its timing and how to use it correctly. But just to show you the forecast and the ability of the algorithm in those two specific cases. By the way, we can find some other stocks here that made some significant moves, such as Marvel that we can find here with 43% in 2 weeks time frame. Again, this is from the 8th of April until the 22nd of April. Here we can find the best 10 stocks that the algorithm suggests us to buy and hold for a period of 14 days. And to the right, we can see the results of those stocks. In the bottom here, we can find also the average of this forecast, while, of course, compared to the S&P 500 that made 7%, 7.8% in this same time frame. So these are two really accurate forecasts for Intel. And I think that what's even more impressive that the algorithm actually identified Intel as a good position also on 15th of January 2026. And we can see that this 3-month forecast that Intel was the second best stock here with the strong signal. We're going to talk about those signals. And this is interesting to see that the algorithm already saw the potential movement of Intel from January 15th. And this is an interesting use case that we actually have with some of the hedge funds that we work with. We're going to talk about it later on because they were interesting in Intel as well. And the algorithm helped them to find the best timing. So we're going to talk about it later and going to actually see how the hedge fund work with the algorithm, and we're going to help you to work like them and find the best solutions in the market. But that's going to be later on in this webinar. So stay tuned. So that
By the way, Ben, another interesting thing in the previous slide that you had there, on the right side, we can see the 7 days forecast basically from last week. And it's interesting to find in this list also Google that also jumped by the end of the week because of a very good earning. And it's interesting to see that it was part of the selection of the AI algorithm as well as AMD, as we can see here. And of course, Intel that had a very interesting week, I would say. And another remark about the focus from today that you shared live here, this forecast was sent already on Saturday. We are basically sending a daily forecast every day. The forecast for Monday is being sent already on Saturday, along with those opportunities. So you have plenty of time to digest, to analyze the prediction, the daily forecast, and to map the opportunities that we see here. But we are going to discuss the different indicators that we see later on. I will provide you a little bit of background about the team, about the technology, and about our clients. So the InnoFirst predictive algorithm was developed by our R&D team that being led by Dr. Lipa Reutemann, one of the leading experts in the field of artificial intelligence, machine learning from the Weizmann Institute of Science. Dr. Reutemann is leading our R&D team that includes a math professor from Tel Aviv University, as well as employees with the background of data science, physics, statistics, mathematics. My name is Yaron Golger. I'm the CEO and the co-founder of InnoFirst. I'm lecturing at one of the leading universities here in Israel for fintech and artificial intelligence. I'm an engineer, with EMBA from the Ben Gurion University. And today, Ben Rubin is going to lead the webinar together with me, our head of advisory. Ben used to work as a financial advisor for Bank Hapoalim, and is leading our advisory team and our institutional
Desk
basically activities.
or desk, yeah.
So the I know first predictive algorithm is being trusted by the world's leading hedge funds, investment houses, banks, family office, brokerage firms, as well as high net worth individuals and retail clients from all over the world. In this list, you can find leading banks, leading hedge funds, leading family offices, and leading investment houses. In this list as well, it's possible to find also different prop companies from all around the world that utilizing our AI technology in order to actively manage their wealth, basically. And we are going also to present our institutional solutions during this webinar as well. The solution that you're about to see has received several awards from different entities, from UBS, and also from Entity Data in Japan, and also as the best from the Geneva Wealth Tech Forum as the best international AI solution for the capital market. Several ceremonies and several awards from all around the globe that we were participating. We are really proud to cooperate with the basically leading universities, and we are delivering different courses for several years already. So to sum up, our solution is basically a predictive algorithm that generating daily forecast for over 13,500 assets from all around the globe. It developed by leading scientist, by Dr. Lipa Reutemann from the Weizmann Institute of Science, and we have a very strong R&D team that working on the algorithm and improving it all the time. And the solution is being trusted by the world leading hedge funds, banks, and investment houses, and as well as family offices and prop companies from all around the globe, of course, retail clients and professional investors. In our website, you can find different media coverage and articles and TV reports about the predictive algorithm.
Yeah, and of course, you are more than welcome to join our WhatsApp group, our growing community. By scanning this QR code, you can join our WhatsApp group in which we are sending forecasts, sending AI articles. We're talking about the market, so feel free to join us by scanning the code and being a part of our community. We'll be happy for you to join. Right.
Okay. So basically, we are offering two solutions. On one hand, we are providing daily forecasts for the capital market on a daily basis. And basically, by using this daily forecast, you can identify the best opportunities across the investment universes that are relevant for you. You can focus on the S&P 500 universe. You can decide that you would like to receive opportunities from the Russell 2000 universe, the Russell 3000 universe, or you can even focus on specific sectors, for example, the semiconductors, the retail sector, or any other sector that is out there. And basically from that stage, you will going to receive daily prediction with 6 time frame, short-term, mid-term, and also long-term. And in each forecast, you can identify the best opportunities across the specific universe. On top of that, we have developed systematic trading, different systematic trading strategies that basically converting the daily forecast to a portfolio. and we are also creating the ongoing rebalancing of the different portfolios by using our strategies, and we are going to discuss and present this solution during this webinar as well. The INOFirst predictive algorithm includes 3 components. By utilizing the first component, it's possible to identify the most promising investment opportunities in the market on a daily basis. The second component is providing us basically stock market intelligence by utilizing the AI forecast. Here we can identify every day the leading sectors, the leading indices, and also the leading regions around the globe. And it's also providing us insights with which sectors, which regions, and which indices we should basically avoid. And the last component is providing us custom forecast based on each client portfolio. Let's say that Ben is holding NVIDIA, Tesla, Amazon, and also STX that we have seen before. So every day we are providing Ben a custom forecast with the assets that he already has in his portfolio, and every day he can combine the different opportunities that the AI is always providing with the custom forecast that he always can use in order to analyze his live portfolio. So how do we do it? We are using science, we are using artificial intelligence. We are collecting quantitative data sets that are coming from the entire financial market. The AI algorithm is digesting a very large data sets on a daily basis. We are using data that representing basically the entire financial market, data that coming from the interest rate environment, data that coming from the different equity market that we are monitoring, over 50 global stock exchanges. From the stock level, we are collecting data that coming from the commodities market, the currency market, and we are combining all those data, and we are adding the daily data to our stock database. We are managing database with historical data. And every day, the AI is learning from the daily data that coming from the market, from the historical data, and also from the combined data. And on a daily basis, our AI algorithm is building the complex network that exists in financial markets. In the financial markets, there are thousands of correlation sets. And on a daily basis, the AI is constructing this complex network without any human intervention. And what's interesting here is that the AI is also updating this network on a daily basis. The stock market is changing from time to time. The market is changing basically every day. The rules that are relevant from today are not going to be relevant for the market that we're going to see in 1 week from now. And every day, basically, the AI, without any human intervention, is building this complex network, the thousands, and modeling the thousands of correlation sets. And you're receiving the bottom line of this complex process, the best opportunities for the timeframes that we see on the right. Best opportunities for the short term, best opportunities for the midterm, and also best long-term opportunities. Of course, there is a feedback loop. The AI is always learning from each forecast, from the successful forecast and also from the failures, and taking it into consideration in the next prediction cycle that's happening basically every day. In terms of the technology, we are combining different AI approaches into one predictive algorithm. We are utilizing deep learning, artificial neural network, genetic algorithms, reinforcement learning, and the goal of this entire process is basically to separate the predictable part of the market from the part that is unpredictable, and to focus on the most predictable assets. Not everything is predictable in a financial market, but the AI is able to separate the predictable part from the unpredictable part. If we take in a simple example, the Russell 2000 universe, every day the AI is able to separate the unpredictable part from the Russell 2000 and to focus on the most predictable assets from this interesting investment universe.
All right, so how exactly do we read the forecast that we saw earlier? The forecast comes in the shape of a heat map, as we can see here. The green cells represent long position, while the red cells represent short positions or selling positions. And we can see that we have the symbol of the stock or the asset in the top of the square. And we are using two indicators. The first one that in the middle of the square, in this case for NVIDIA, we're seeing it 36.7. That's the signal. And the signal represents the predictive movement of the asset or the price deviation of the asset. And it helps us to rank the entire investment universe for all of our assets. We can see in this case, it's 36.7. The strongest signal is located on the top left corner of the forecast. In this case, is APLD with 56.4. And we can see that the signal is actually going down to the right, while we're seeing the most negative signal in the bottom of the forecast for BN. We can see minus 7.7, which means that BN is supposed to move to the downside in the strongest way. The signal is our internal index. It moves from minus infinity to infinity. And its job is actually to rank the entire investment universe so that we can know for which stocks we should focus on. The second indicator that we are using is the predictability indicator that we can see on the bottom left corner of each and every square. This indicator actually shows us how good the algorithm can predict the specific asset. We are using Pearson correlation measurement, and it moves from basically -1 to 1, while 1 represents 100% probability that the asset will move to the predicted direction, and 0 represents around 50% probability that the asset will move to the predicted direction, which actually means that's like a 50-50. We will look for the highest values of the predictability indicators and the signal indicator. Actually, we will always look for the highest values because we want that the asset will move in a strong way to the direction that the algorithm predicts, and we want a high predictability level to make sure that the asset will move to the predicted direction. So those two signals actually helping us to focus on the best assets from the forecast. And we will see some examples from the last days right in a few more slides. I just want to show you how it looks like when you get it in the morning. You see here 6 time frames. For the short time frame, we have the 3 days, 7 days, and the 14 days. And for the longer time frames, we have the 1 month, 3 month, and 1 year. And you can see that some of the stocks are actually appearing in multiple time frames. You don't have like different 10 assets in each and every time frame. You can see that some of the stocks are repeating in the time frames, and we're gonna learn about it later on. But just to give you a glimpse of how the forecast looks like and what do you get on a daily basis. Every day you get those 6 time frames, and the algorithm is updated every day. So let's have some examples from the market, and we can see a really interesting forecast. Those are all live forecasts that were sent to our clients, the real forecast. We can see the 3 days here to the left. We can see the date that this forecast was generated, which is 29th of April, 2026. And to the right, we can actually see the performance of those 10 stocks that the algorithm suggests us to buy on that time frame and to hold it for a period of 3 days. So in this case, we can find Intel, of course, as we talked about it before. It was also generated, also was in the forecast of the 29th of April. We can find Nokia, we can find Qualcomm, AMD, STM, Google, MU, and we can also find NVIDIA and Microsoft, but we saw this, we're seeing this little X next to them. That means that the stock didn't went to the right direction. It actually went down. It's not 100% true and working all the time, but 8 out of 10 actually did went to the predicted direction and produced some really good return. We can see that the 8 out of the 10 stocks actually outperform the S&P that moved by 0.2, 1.2, and the average of this forecast is standing on 9.14%, which is really impressive for a 3 days time frame period. Yep, that's a really short time frame, and we can find the signals and the predictability indicators right here. In this case, we can see that, for example, Intel has the strongest signal, and it actually jumped by 17%. If we'll go
By the way, in this list, we can find again Google that, as said, jumped after the earnings, and it's interesting that it was appearing. We saw before the 7 days forecast. Here we can see the 3 days forecast, and it's interesting to see that Google was there as well. We saw before AMD. We see it also here. We see Qualcomm and Nokia, as you said, is also here. Very interesting.
Yeah, and if they look at the 7 days time frame, we can also find some interesting stock. Of course, we can see NVIDIA, Team, LWLG, which is Lightwave Logic, that's actually in the ultra-fast data sector. We can find the BE for the clean energy, Bloom Energy, that jumped by 25%. We can see different stocks from different universe, and that's really interesting to see. The algorithm is actually scanning the entire US market and giving us the best opportunity for these specific time frames of 7 days. And again, the average of this forecast was around 7.9%, which is really, really impressive. We will jump to the 12 days, the 14 days time frame, and here we can see that the longer the time frame, we can see that the signal is getting stronger, and also the predictability level is getting stronger as well. And in this case, we can find NVIDIA here with the strongest predictability with 0.32, which means that somewhere around 65 to 70% probability that the NVIDIA would go up. We can find the Marvel here with the strongest signal, jumping by 23%, and AMKR, AMD, and in the bottom line, we can see that this forecast has produced 20% in 14 days. This is quite amazing, and it's just by buying those stocks and holding them for a period of 2 weeks. Although every day you get an updated forecast, so you can see the situation of the stocks. If some of the stocks change their status for the red part, you should sell it. But this is really impressive for a 14 days time frame. And if we'll jump to the 1 month, the longer time frame, which, by the way, we suggest, I saw some questions from the crowd that asking us what's the best time frame. So we suggest to focus on the longer time frames as the 1 month, the 3 month, 1 year, because as we can see, the predictability and the signal are getting stronger in those time frames. So the longer the time frame, the better is the predictability. And here we can see some interesting stocks such as the Kodak. You can find the AEHR, Annual Test Systems, that supplies semiconductors test. We can find Marvel, we can find Copen, LWLG again, and AAOI. LWLG jumped by 112% in 1 month, AEHR 110%. Those numbers are off the chart, and we can see that the average of this forecast is standing on 45% in 1 month. This is crazy. By the way, we can also see here car here, interesting stocks that made I think around I don't know, it's like 600% or 500% in a few months, and also went down after that. But it was a really interesting movement, and this specific forecast is focusing on volatile stocks. And we're going to talk about it later on in this webinar. We have a specific package for you guys if you like the volatility, like the more volatile stock. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about those kind of stocks and this kind of package in a few more minutes. And jumping into the 3 months, even the longer time frame of 3 months, we can see here that the predictability is really getting higher and higher. For example, MOD jumping by 36% with 0.45 predictability level, which is pretty great. We can also find here AXTI, which is kind of an interesting story. Some hedge fund manager was asking about this stock, and we gave him a really good prediction for these stocks on the 3rd of February, when it was, I think actually the price was around 20%. You can see it here. This is the 2nd of
$20,
February. And this stock jumped by 360% in a 3 month time frame, which is quite crazy, going from 20 to almost 100. And this forecast, as you can see, AXTI was in the top of this list with a strong signal and pretty good predictability. So this behind the scene player, AXTI, has really good performance. And we're going to talk about the hedge fund and how do we give them the exact forecast and how to use the algorithm in the best way that you can produce those returns. And so this is the 3 months. And of course, we also have a forecast for the 1 year. If you like long-term investment, you can also use the forecast to buy and hold for a period of 1 year. We can find stocks here such as, by the way, this was generated on 30th of April, 2025. And check those stocks. I think 9 out of the 10 passed the 100%. This is not a coincidence. We are seeing and focusing on semiconductor stocks. We can find LRCX with 260%, AMD with also great timing with 270%, and many others. While the average was 163% from those stocks. There are some S&P 500 stocks in this group, so I think it's quite remarkable, giving the best opportunities for all 6 time frames, and you get all of those in our forecast on a daily basis. All right, and let's see what happened in the, actually, we have some forecast from Friday. If you have the top 20, you would see those 5 stocks: Nokia, the Bloom Energy, GNRC, PRG, STX, that they all went up. STX almost with 8%. So this is a forecast that was sent to our clients on Friday morning, and those are the 5 leading stocks. Again, there's a 20 stocks here, but we're just giving you a glimpse of the first 5. So that's interesting to see. We also have a package for small stock, under 5 stocks. As you can see here, those stocks, of course, are more volatile, but look at this Friday performance. XTRX that we just saw in the beginning of this webinar, that was also was recommended for today. We can see it on Friday jumping by 20%, WKHS with 12%, USEG with 3%, 3.5%, and BIVI. You can see all of those four stocks going up on Friday, which is pretty impressive. And actually check XRX signal, which is much more stronger than the other stocks that we see in this forecast, is standing on 5.58, while the next stock next to it is standing on 1.02, which means that this XRX is going to jump in the strongest way from this specific forecast. And more stocks from today, the top 20 that we saw in the beginning, XRX has jumped today as well by 13.5% before this webinar started. We talked about this specific forecast and another forecast from the biotech universe. Again, from today, 3 days ahead, we can find those stocks, EDSA, ESPR, ARDX, that also are making some really nice performance. So we have a lot of package that you can use if it's small cap, if it's biotech, if it's top 10, and even if it's the Russell 2000, if you want the best stocks out of the S&P 500 or the Russell 2000, Russell 1000, we have a specific package for that. XRX appeared on the Russell 2000 as well at the end, in the end of this head of this list. And another interesting thing to see, besides PRCH that also jumped by 7% on Friday, the bottom of the forecast is also basically you have here 10 stocks to short or to sell, and the stock ERAS was with a really strong negative signal and went down by 5.8% on Friday. So it's not just the long opportunities that you can actually take advantage of, it's also the short opportunities or selling opportunities that we offer you on a daily basis.
Yeah. By the way, as we speak, ARAS continuing to slide down by more than 1% right now. And again, something very important that Ben said that I would like maybe to repeat. We see here short-term examples. However, the best way to utilize the AI is by starting actually from the long-term forecast. And basically, when I'm reading the forecast with, let's say, institutional clients, hedge funds, we are always starting from the long-term forecast, from the 1 year, and we are starting to map opportunities that actually appearing in multiple time frames, but always we starting with the 1 year, 3 month, 1 month, and then we starting to analyze also the short-term opportunities, but always start with the long term and try to highlight as many opportunities that appearing multiple times. Focus on the predictability, as Ben mentioned. Focus on the asset with the strongest signal, strongest upside, and then analyze the short-term opportunities.
Yep, and you mentioned the hedge funds, and we are working as we saw earlier in this presentation that we are working with several hedge funds, and we want to show you how exactly they think and how they use the algorithm to get the best results. And I think it's fascinating. We also are learning from hedge funds and other firms how they trade in the market, and it's I think it's a fascinating process that we want to show you today how it actually works. So starting with a quote of one of the leading pension fund manager that we've met and told us actually that we just have to be in the right sector and nothing else matters for him. He doesn't want to find a specific stock or hold like a 5 to 10 stocks. You want just to be in the right sector when you are managing millions and even billions of dollars. Every percent is important, and you have to beat the market. And our AI can actually focus on the best sectors from the market, and you can use it as well by using the ETF package. The ETF package is actually gathering many sectors and leading ETF, US ETFs, as we can see in those examples. If you don't want to invest in one stock, or you want to get more diversification in your portfolio, this is the package for you. This is one of my favorite packages because you're holding ETF that's actually inside holding like 70 to 80 stocks. So it's not volatile that much as a stock, and you don't have the risk of the short squeeze or big volatile movement. So this ETF package is in usage of those hedge funds because first they want to know what's the best sector to be, and put their focus on this specific sector. If you're buying the XLK, that is one of the 11 leading sectors from the S&P 500, you can get a really big advantage on the market. So this package helps them to focus on the best sectors. And as we can see in this forecast from the 24th of April for 3 days time frame, the algorithm is actually suggested to hold HYG, which is actually bonds ETF. We can see Taiwan, EWT. We can find XLK, one of the leading sectors from the S&P 500. We can find VGT, the information technology. We can find the QQQ, the Nasdaq 100, and even the leverage ETF, if you like more risk, the TQQQ, which is the QQQ 3 times. So this is for the short term, but also the long term of 1 month. We can actually show them, and here we actually show them that the algorithm puts a lot of focus on technology. Just check the first ETF, the TQQQ, the Nasdaq 100, the Magnificent 7, the MAGS, VGT, semiconductors. Again, by the way, in the beginning of April, I'm not sure that everyone was, thinking about that the market is going to go up. It was a very volatile time. So the algorithm put the focus on the technology stocks, on the semiconductor stocks, and the semiconductors universe jumped by 37% in 1 month, which is amazing. And that's how we actually can double the return of the market. Although the S&P jumped by 9.8%, check those ETFs. The majority of them is outperformed it. SPYG, which is growth stocks from the S&P 500. We have stocks. We have MAGs that with 14%, the Nasdaq 100, and many others that actually outperform the market. And being in the right sectors, you don't have to take care about the reports, the volatility that comes with the earnings and the report, and you don't have to worry about short squeeze. You have your portfolio is balanced. You can also get not just sector diversification, you can also get a geographical diversification, because you can see that the algorithm can focus on different areas in the globe. As we can find here, EWT is Taiwan Stock Exchange, or EWG, which is Germany, and many others that the algorithm can focus on. So this is one of my favorite packages, and I highly recommend the ETF package. All right, after doing so, with the hedge funds, I'm gonna describe you how it works. It's starting from the top, that we're telling them is which sector is the best. For example, in that case, we saw XLK, or the semiconductors universe seems the most potential one. So after that, the algorithm has the ability to scan and focus this entire sector, and giving us the best stocks out of this sector. So we know that the technology, or the semiconductor, or the energy is one of the strongest sectors or leading sectors. Now we can drill down into this sector and stock pick the best uh, assets from this universe, as we can see here. By the way, we're going to show you today, in the end of this webinar, what are the best sectors for the next month. We're going to show you a live forecast for the following month. This is actually a forecast that we are pairing with our hedge funds clients. So stay tuned to the end of this webinar. It's going to be super interesting. So in this case, we are seeing the semiconductors universe is the leading one. So we dived into the stocks and and the algorithm actually providing us the best stock we can find here. For example, check this date, 15th of January, NVIDIA, Intel, that we talked about it earlier, TER, ENTG, ASML, MU, and while the S&P made 1.4% from this date for 3 months ahead, the algorithm made 22%. Also, for the longer time frame of the 30th of April that we saw, the 1 year forecast, in here we saw those performance of those semiconductor stocks. That is, I think, incredible in a period of 1 year. So if you don't want to be just in the sector, you want to be inside a specific stock in a good sector, you'll be doing this drill down process that we do with those hedge funds. So this is the second stage after seeing the market from the top, from the above, and seeing which sectors are the best. We are drilling down into specific sectors and giving them the best opportunities. The next stage that we do is sometimes scanning the entire US market. And this is really interesting. We have a specific package for that, that's scanning the entire US market and giving us the best opportunities on a daily basis. This package called the top 20. And it's focusing on stocks that have a bigger market cap, more than $2 billion, and has a really large volume, trading volume. So in this universe, the algorithm scanning from all the sectors and showing us opportunities from the entire US market, because sometimes even if you have, let's say that if we saw that the stocks or the technology sector is the best, you can also find some specific stock in other sectors, such as energy, such as biotechnology, and many others. So here we have like an overview of the market, and you get this package. You can use this package by yourself. And another bonus that we have in this package is not just 10 stocks or 20 stocks on a daily basis that you get. You also get, as you can see here, the forecast of the S&P 500 index itself. So you could know for all 6 time frames what the algorithm thinks about the S&P, what is his prediction for the S&P. And addition to those 10 stocks that you get here, you also get, as we can see here, a forecast for the S&P 500 itself. And we can see this variety of stocks that we have here, from XPO, which is a tracking company, to SPX, which are in the semiconductors, to IESC, which is a company that's focusing on electricity utilities, and TDG, which is from aerospace and defense. So we have diversification of sectors here from the entire US market, and those performance are really, really interesting. And we saw the example that we have on Friday from this specific universe. And if we're talking about investments, sorry, if we're talking about hedge funds or banks or even larger institutional clients, they are usually not trading for the short term and focusing most likely on the long term, and they really favorite of the S&P 500 universe, because you can find the larger stocks there, less volatile stock, and they can focus for a long-term investment. And that's exactly what the S&P 500 package is actually offering you. You can focus on big stocks from the S&P 500 universe only. And we advise also focusing on the longer time frames of 3 months, 1 year, 1 month, and you'll see some great results there from this specific package.
Yeah. Two remarks about the differences between the top 10 or the top 20 package that we have seen before to the S&P 500 package. The top 10 package, the idea here is to support the discovery process, discovery of new opportunities, emerging stocks, emerging opportunities across the US market. As we saw in the example, if you can go back to the previous slide back, we saw here two forecasts. One is a long-term one, and one is a more short-term one. But we can see here, we can see the discovery process. We can see how the algorithm identify STX as an opportunity 3 months ago, already on February. We can see here Light. We can see here the Israeli company Comtech that also traded in the US. We can see it, IESC. We can see several interesting opportunities that the AI identify from the entire US market. Of course, all those assets are traded in the US. They have significant volume. And on the left side, we can see short-term opportunities that the AI identified basically last week. Again, stocks such as TEAM, LWLG, B, KKR, Shopify. And on the other end, the S&P 500 package is focusing on the 500 stocks of the S&P. So our universe is pretty structured. And from this universe, the AI is identifying the best opportunities on a daily basis, creating the ranking that we see here, and the opportunities that that is identifying on a daily basis. So if you are interested in the discovery of new opportunities, I would utilize the top 20 or the top 10 package. If you would like to stay around the S&P and to identify opportunities from the S&P 500, then the S&P 500 is the package for you guys.
Yep. And after saving the majority of the portfolio for the hedge fund or the institutional clients is basically, as we said, sector. Some of it is also saved for a long-term investment in S&P 500 stocks. And some of the hedge funds like to take, let's say, not a big part of the portfolio as is a more risky part and return-generated stocks. So we have for the clients that like more volatile stocks and stocks that can actually jump by 358%, as we can see here by XTI in 3 months. We have the implied volatility package. The implied volatility package is focusing on stocks that are mostly volatile and are involved with the high risk as well. As we can see here, for example, to the left, the CVNA, we have AEHR that jumped by 135%, BKSY with 28%. So this package is actually focusing on more volatile universe of stocks that can produce a higher return, but also involved with high risk. So this also can be a part of your portfolio if you can manage, of course, manage the risk correctly and know how to manage those kind of stocks. And again, from Friday, if you had this package in your portfolio, you would find MXL, Intel, and B together. We can see those three stocks. And in the bottom, by the way, we had Spotify in the red part. It actually went down. So in Friday, MXL jumped by 9% in one day. So you can see that the volatility of this stock are high. But it's also interesting, to find some stocks that are making those returns. The algorithm by using AI to focus on those stocks. I think it's interesting, and I personally like this volatility. And especially for this webinar, we are giving you another interesting package that actually takes stocks from the hedge funds pool of stocks that they're using in their portfolio or in their research. So we made like a special package that gathers all the stocks that the leading hedge funds in the US are holding in their portfolio or in their research, so that you can actually taste from this universe. So the hedge fund package is available for you guys, and you can try it from now. We have some different, for example, we can see some stocks such as the PSFE that jumped by 20% here in a 7 days time frame, or OGN, for example, with 41%. But also you can find stocks such as Dell that doesn't have that high volatility. So we have a mixture of stocks from different universe. We can also see it in the 1 year. We can find some quantum computers that companies such as RGTI or APLD that jumped by 540%. VRT, for example, an interesting company that working in a cooling process of servers that has contracts with NVIDIA as well, with 254%. So the hedge fund package, I think it's a really interesting package for those times. And you can try to follow the big hedge funds in the US and invest in what they're investing, but also have this edge of AI picking from their pool of stocks the best pool to invest for 6 different time frames. So I think it's a really, really interesting package.
Yes, and by the way, look at the predictability that we see on the right side. In the 1 year, we see that we can, there are several stocks, for example, Tower Semiconductors, TSM, with almost 0.82. Remember, the range is between -1 and 1, so we're achieving 0.82 predictability. We see here also real with a very high predictability and high return, VLT with very high predictability. This is the reason why we suggest always to start with the 1 year forecast. And it's pretty interesting to see the levels that we are reaching in the 1 year forecast.
Yeah,
And
even if
yeah.
you're trading for 1 month or 2 months, take a look at the 1 year and see the opportunities that appearing there. By the way, you talked about the predictability, but also look at the APLD signal, which is really, really strong here. If you compare to the other in this forecast, and the jump of 540% in 1 year.
So basically here in this package, we are building a pool with that basically based on all the holdings of the different US hedge funds. And then we are applying our AI algorithm on top of that in order to identify the best opportunities from this interesting universe, basically. By the way, Uber is being held by Bill Ackman hedge fund. It's interesting to see. This is the only one that was a stock that was staying behind actually here.
Yep, and if you had this package on Friday, this is what you would see. You can see the three stocks out of the 10 with WKHS that jumped 12%, and PSFP with 4%, just on Friday. This is 1 day, but look at this forecast. It's a 1 month forecast from the 1st of May. Those three stocks look good for the rest of the month as well. And the last package that we are covering from the hedge fund universe today, it's actually the Trump package. We also have to, look what's happening in the market, the geopolitical situation, and this is a policy-driven alpha, a kind of a view, a more strategic package in which we are gathering all Trump's economic agenda sectors in one package. We can find here the XAR, which is the aerospace and defense sector. So we have all the stocks from this specific sector. The XAR is in the pool of this package. Same as it goes with XLE, which is the energy package that was really interesting this year. We can also find crypto stocks such as Mara, Riot, and other crypto-involved stocks. We can see the AI stocks, XLK, Israeli stocks, and all of those are in one package. All of those stocks are in one package that, again, the algorithm scans on a daily basis and giving you the opportunities from those specific sectors. The sectors that Trump, it's in Trump's agenda. So I think it's a really, really relevant and interesting package to follow. And again, you can see stocks from Palantir here to Katos, which is from the aerospace and defense universe, and that actually generates drones. You can find Robinhood, you can find TSM, and you also can find, of course, NVIDIA, STX, and many other stocks from this universe, and also some of the Israeli stocks if you're interested in that stock exchange. So that's for the Trump package. And I think I've tried to give you a glimpse that how the hedge funds process of stock picking works. And this is from our experience with them. We've been working them for a long time now with different clients, different needs. And you can use and actually try to trade as the hedge fund, big hedge fund does. And for that, we are giving you 4 interesting webinar sales. We'll start, of course, if you just want to start and try one of the packages that we have in our website, you can do so. Feel free to do so by getting into the website and go to the prices and see and try in a discount price for the first month one of the packages that you can find on the page. But the first webinar sale that we offered you today is the 1+1 in $349 per month. You can choose 2 packages out of the packages that we saw here in this webinar. Some of the packages that you see here are not on the website, they're just on the webinar sale that we providing you, and you can choose any 2 packages that you want. It can be the ETF and the Trump. It can be the top 10 and the hedge fund package. You can do any combination that you like. You can find the link for the webinar sales on the chat, and you can see all the sales that we offer you today. But the first webinar sale that's available for the next 24 hours is the 1+1 in $349 per month. No commitment. You can cancel it anytime, and you get a really good price for combining 2 of the interesting, unique packages that we presented you on this webinar. Our second webinar sale is the AI portfolio, and one of my favorite products that I'm going to explain for you how it works right now. Instead of, if you don't want to look for stocks on a daily basis and you want to update your portfolio once a month, you can the algorithm is actually choosing the best 10 assets for you once every 4 weeks from our entire investment universe. So as we do with the actually with the hedge funds clients, that we seeing all the market, we are checking the sector and then drill down into the best sector. You can get and try the same similar model here in the AI portfolio. The algorithm gives you the best 10 assets to hold for a period of 4 weeks. You buy those stocks and hold them for 4 weeks, and after 4 weeks, you get another updated portfolio. And it's a 3 month subscription, and we have a special price for you guys for $330 per month, paid quarterly. And now I want to show you this specific product because I think it's quite unique. So every 4 weeks, you get 10 assets, 10 stocks or ETFs, and hold them for a period of 4 weeks. And the performance for the last portfolio, if we're looking about for April, it actually had 7.87% in those 4 weeks. This higher return just in April, we got 7.87%, and you get those 10 stocks into your phone and or your account. You can buy them into your trading account at closing price, and every 4 weeks you'll get a new portfolio, a new updated portfolio for you to buy again. Some of the stocks can actually stay in your portfolio. Some can change, of course. And if we're looking at the performance from the launch that it was on April 2025, right now we're standing on 26% in this AI portfolio. It's a long only position, rebalanced every 4 weeks, holding 10 stocks in an equal weight. And if you don't wanna find the trades on a daily basis or weekly basis, if you want to manage your portfolio every 1 month, get some new stocks every 1 month, this is the product for you. The algorithm scans the entire US market, checking the best sectors, giving you the best sectors and the best stocks from the leading sectors. AI Power Portfolio, I think it's a must. And if you want to use the technology in the best way, I think this is the product for you guys.
Yeah, and we just had a rebalancing last Wednesday, right, Ben?
Yeah. Now it's the excellent time, I think, to join for May and get the best opportunities for May. So you can join now and get the last portfolio and join the AI portfolio for this month. If we check last month, by the way, we already saw that it's around almost 8%, but let's check the stocks that the algorithm has actually focused on. As we can see, NVIDIA, we can see USO, which is the oil fund. The algorithm actually marked the oil fund. We can find IYW, which is the technology sector again. We can find Microsoft with 14%. We can find XDH, which is oil and gas exploration. You can see some ETFs here as well. We can see some energy ETFs and NVIDIA at the top, and that's actually performed 7.8%. I think that's a great return for 1 month, and it's also a balanced portfolio. Because of the situation in the Gulf area, we can see that the energy and the oil assets went up as well. So you get a really good diversification here in your portfolio. And if we're looking at the last few months or leading month, if we're talking about February, while the market went down, we actually went up by almost 5%. Again, by focusing on stocks such as GLW that jumped 32%, Again, we can still see the gas, oil and gas, XTS, in this portfolio from February, and the algorithm is marked that sector pretty strongly. We also can find XLI, which is the industrial universe, and many others that appearing on this portfolio. If we'll look backward on 2025, we can see that in June, this portfolio made 11% or 11.6%. Again, stocks such as AMST, UPST with 34%, and even a lot of ETFs, as we can find here, 4 ETFs in this portfolio. EWY stocks, home builders with 11%, and the SPY. So we can see this portfolio is actually generated 11% in June or July. And 1 month before that, we can find May with 8%. Again, we have semiconductors here, we have TSM, we have AMST, and 10 stocks that were equally weighted in this portfolio has generated 8%. And even that was the beginning of this product, of the AI portfolio. That was the first rebalance, happened in the 2nd of April 2025, right next to the tariffs with Trump. So while the market actually went down by almost 2%, we actually succeeded to do 3.4% by picking the right stock, such as Palantir, TWO, Uber, and many others that perform this positive return in a going down market, which I think is really, really impressive. So this AI portfolio is available for you for the next 24 hours in a special price of $330 per month instead of $499 per month. And you get this portfolio. Don't do it. You don't have to do a lot. Just buy the stocks and hold them for a period of 4 weeks. And every month you get a new rebalance to your portfolio. I think it's an amazing product, which is actually, again, we showed you how we worked with the institutional clients. This is an institutional service. I mean, we're doing some models, the models that are choosing those stocks for this specific portfolio is also being used for our institutional clients. So if you really want to get taste for the high technology and use this product, you can buy this product and join us to the May portfolio. All right, so our third webinar sale is actually combining the 2 sales that we just saw. You can get 1 package of your choice and the AI portfolio for $299 per month if you subscribe for 12 months. So this is our third special webinar sale that is available for the next 24 hours. Choose 1 package if you want the ETF, or you want the implied volatility universe, or if you want the semiconductors package. You can choose it and combine it with the AI power portfolio, and you can get it with $299 per month. This is a price that you won't see regularly. It's just for the next 24 hours for the webinar, the webinar crowd. So use this special webinar sale, and you can get it by clicking on the chat button, and you can see all of our sales. And I think the best sale, the webinar sale that we have here, is the premium package, all inclusive. You getting 2 packages of your choice, which you can change every month. You combine it with the AI powered portfolio, and for that you pay $399 per month annually paid. So again, this is our first and last webinar sale, and I think it's one of the most best webinar sales that we have, and it's available also for the next 24 hours only.
right? And all the deals are appearing, as you mentioned, in the webinar chat window. I see several questions about the deals and the product offering. So I will try to go over the different opportunities that we see here. So if you would like to get the insights and the predictions and the opportunities on a daily basis, and to use it on a daily basis, to be exposed to the daily opportunities across the different universes that we have seen in the previous slide. It could be the top 10 package, it could be the top 20 package, or if you would like to focus on hedge fund stocks, quantum stocks, or even to drill down into a specific sector, then the first webinar celt is the deal for you. You can choose a mix and match between different two packages. And basically from that stage on a daily basis, you will receive the best opportunities from the universes that you have chose. And of course, every month, if you want, you can switch the selection, your package selection, and move to other sectors or other packages. The webinar deal number 2 is basically if you're too busy to get the opportunities on a daily basis, and you would like just to follow the algorithm every month, you are receiving from us a structured portfolio with 10 positions. As we've seen, equities, it could be stocks or ETFs. So every 4 weeks, basically, we are sending 10 stocks or ETFs, and it's equally weighted portfolio. So you just need to buy at the closing and wait to the next rebalancing in 4 weeks. And if you would like basically to combine the different, on one hand, to get the predictions and opportunities on a daily basis, and we see very interesting predictions, very interesting opportunities that AI is managing to identify basically every day. So you can combine the daily approach with the monthly approach. You can choose one package of your choice from the different interesting packages that we are offering, and to combine it with the monthly portfolio. And then you can basically build a monthly portfolio and to combine it with the daily opportunities. And on top of that, if you would like to get 2 packages of your choice and to combine it with the AI monthly portfolio, then you can choose the all-inclusive deal, the deal number 4, and to get 2 packages of your choice and the AI monthly portfolio. And I see people that asking what do we suggest for the upcoming month, which packages selections we are suggesting. I think Ben gave a very good overview of the different packages. I personally like the discovery process, as I mentioned. I like the top 20 package, the top 10 package. I like the opportunities that are emerging by utilizing this package. Very interesting opportunities. We saw several live predictions and also recent forecast from today, from Friday, from last week. So the top 20 or the top 10 is very interesting package and is one of my favorite. And I would combine it with the AI monthly portfolio. As said, it's a very good timing. We just made a rebalancing for the upcoming month, so the timing is very good.
Yep,
What
and
about you, Ben?
I chose the ETF as I talked about early in this slideshow. I like the diversification of choosing between many ETFs. So I think combining it with the AI powered portfolio is the good combination for balanced portfolio, and this is my pick for the following month. All right. So another interesting and I think a must package that you have to have in your portfolio is actually similar to the way you drive in your car, and you have like the fuel tank, and you have the fuel indicator, and you have like your navigation system, and you can see forward and plan your way. We also provide you also again a hedge fund product that is I think it's like in the top of the list of each and every hedge fund that we work with. It's the AI dashboard package, in which you can find a lot of leading indicators for the market to know what's going to happen actually in the market. And by that, I mean you'll get a forecast for all of those assets. So let's break it down and see what is in this package. First, you have the S&P 500 index to know where the market goes, and to get to see the trend if it's positive for different time frames. Again, 6 time frames for all of these assets. We have the QQQ, the Nasdaq 100. We have the SPY. We have the IWM, which is the Russell 2000. We have the RSP, which is the S&P 500 equal weight. Sorry, we have the Dow Jones. We have the Nasdaq IXIC. We have the oil services that we can see here, that is also in this specific package. We have the VIX, the volatility index, or the fear index, that is also in this dashboard. Right now, we are seeing that the VIX is actually getting higher through what's the situation in the Persian Gulf. We can see the gold. That you have a daily prediction on the gold and the silver. You also have the USO commodity that we saw earlier, the oil. TNX is the 10 years government bond, which also has a lot of impact on the market. We can see the German DAX here to get the European situation and European markets. We have the Bitcoin USD. I think that a lot of you are interested in the Bitcoin forecast. We have the dollar index, DXY. We have the USD euro and the USD Japanese yen. So you get all of these indices in one forecast. So you can also choose this package and combine it with one of the packages that we saw earlier. For example, if you have like specific stocks, like we have a package for the top 10. So you want to get specific stocks, but you also want to know what's going on the market, or even invest on those indices. Those are the main indices from the US market. You can do so. So I really recommend about this package. And let's actually see what happened in the beginning of this month. I think in the end of March, when we were in this point at the market, I'm not sure that the majority of you thought that we're gonna go up again like this. But if you have the AI dashboard tool, you would see that the Nasdaq 100 was positive, the SPY was positive, the oil services was positive, and the Bitcoin was positive, as you can see here on April 1st. You get the 1 month, you get this 1 month forecast will help you to know if we are changing the sides right now, if the trend is changing, if we're going from red to green, or from green to red, from green to red. So that could help you navigate through the market. And let's check this amazing forecast. I think it's pretty amazing because we have the Magnificent Seven here with 14%. We have the Bitcoin with 12%, USO with 14%, QQQ with 16%. The gold was negative and it went down by 2.7%. So if you want a compass for the market, this is a must package, and you can combine it in your webinar deals. And I can show you some examples from the following, from 2026 for the oil prices in February 3rd. I'm not sure that everybody thought that the USO will get to 124 price while it was on 76. So you could have known that by using the AI dashboard. We also saw it in the energy indices such as XOP, XDX, XLE, in the oil prices. USO was positive here as well in the commodities, and we also saw the volatilities going up at the beginning of the year, in the February 1st. So the VIX can also help you to know if there's fear in the market and if you should maybe close some of your positions. The algorithm also produced an amazing forecast for the gold and the silver after making a really big run through 2025 and the beginning of 2026. Then this point on March 11, we got a really negative forecast for the gold and the silver, and we saw that drop coming up in the rest of the month. And also, of course, for the Nasdaq itself, we can see a negative forecast for the Nasdaq here, and the volatility is up, and even a longer time frame of 1 month. While we saw the Nasdaq IXIC in the bottom of the forecast in the red side, which help us to understand that we are expecting some volatility from February 20, and this is amazing timing. Well, even if you don't exactly at the peak of the chart, and you starting to understand that something is happening here, and you might maybe close some of your position, or maybe go into cash a little bit, or even making a short position, that could save you a lot of money and save you this big drop, because you have a tool that says and helps you get out of the market, stay in the market, go in, or helps you to navigate. The AI dashboard, I think, is a must have package. And again, also in April 2020, 1 year ago in 2025, again, before the tariffs, we saw a really negative market. So some of those indices, such as the S&P and the Nasdaq and the Russell, would appear in your AI dashboard and help you to understand that something is happening here. So you can combine the AI dashboard in your one of the webinar sales, and we have a special sale actually that if someone buy the AI portfolio or the one of the yearly subscription, you get the AI dashboard for free, and it's only for the next 24 hours. So be quickly on the webinar sales, act quickly, and join one of our sales. If you'll join the AI portfolio, you'll get the AI dashboard for free. And if you get one of the yearly subscription, you also get the AI dashboard for free. So join quickly and see and use this webinar sales that we offered you for the next 24 hours.
As you mentioned, Ben, by the way, one of the advantages of the top 10 package is that it includes S&P 500, daily S&P 500 forecast. If you would like to get the most comprehensive solution, then I would go to the AI dashboard and choose the AI dashboard, because it includes additional indicators, so very important ones, as we can see here, daily forecast not only for the SPY and the SP 500, but also NASDAQ, Dow Jones, VIX, and additional predictions for other interesting assets such as oil, gold, silver, even DAX, and even the comparison between the Magnificent Seven and the entire market, the comparison between MAGs, ETFs, and the RSP. That, by the way, Ben, if we look at the previous month, it worked really, really well in the live forecast that you have shared there from the beginning of the month. we can see how the AI identified the big names, the Magnificent Seven stocks, as an opportunities. And if we're analyzing it right now, we see the 14% jump that actually came from, it's quite unique, from the Magnificent Seven, much more than the RSP. If the S&P 500 forecast is good enough for you, then the top 10 package includes also daily forecast for the S&P 500 index. And we can see in the next slide, we can see how important is to utilize and how it can basically help you guys to manage the position, manage the risk, and sometimes to stay out of the market, as Ben showed us in this slide. So going back to the S&P, we can see here two examples. On the left side, we can see an example from last year, the tariffs that Ben just showed us. We can see how the top 10 package had negative focus for the S&P index. And this is the beauty about this package. If we see that the S&P 500 had the negative focus, therefore, we might want to manage the risk, stay out of the market, or if it's possible for us, of course, we can take advantage of the short selling opportunities that coming from the bottom of the table. So back then, by the end of March 2025, we saw a negative forecast. It's 5 days before the tariff day, and we could see that the strongest signals came from the bottom of the heat map. And we have seen it also on March 15 this year, basically, almost 2 months ago. Again, we have seen negative focus for the S&P, and the strongest signals came from the bottom of the heat map. Again, it can help you to manage the risk. The most comprehensive solution is the desktop, the AI dashboard solution. But if you're having the top 10 package, please take a look and analyze the S&P 500 forecast as well.
Yep, and we want to show you a glimpse of our artificial intelligence trading strategy that we offer to our institutional clients. Besides providing them a decision support tool, we also provide automatic strategies, and we can actually see what I've talked about earlier, that how hedge funds like their investment universe to be. And this is a strategy, automatic strategy, that every 4 weeks is providing the best asset from the Geeks level 1, the Geeks level 2, main sectors from the S&P 500, and the 5 most predictable stocks from the S&P 500 universe. This strategy is a long and short. We are utilizing our algorithm to provide a long position and short position every 4 weeks. But take a look why institutional clients like this strategy, because 80% of it is actually from ETFs and sectors. Those are the main holdings in their strategy, and only 20% is actually specific stocks. So it's interesting to see this allocation of the portfolio for the institutional clients, and even more interesting to see is the amazing return this strategy has generated from 2020 up until now, more than 660%, while the S&P moved around 111%. We can see it on a yearly basis, that the return of this strategy is beating the S&P 500 return. We can see it here, 95 to 14. In 2022, we have to actually had a positive return of 15%, while the market went down by almost 20. And I think that much more impressive, so from those returns, is the risk measures and the volatility of this strategy, which is lower than the S&P itself. Here we can see the maximum drawdowns on a yearly measure, and we can find that every year, or the majority of the year, the strategy is less volatile than the S&P itself. So it's generating amazing returns with low volatility and low risk, and that's why institutional clients really like this strategy. This strategy is being held by leading hedge funds from the US and here in Israel as well. And we're really proud at this strategy. And I'll give you the look of the last portfolio that was generated on April 9th until today. We can see that the total return is standing on 8.64, while the S&P is around 5%. And check this interesting allocation. 60% of the portfolio is actually is from those three sectors. We can see that the algorithm not just picking the best sectors, the three sectors out of the 11 sectors, it's also giving them the right weight. For example, for XLK, the algorithm gave almost 26% out of the 60. So he also chose the MAGS, Magnificent Seven, that performed 10%. We can find AVGO, we can find Marvel that jumped by 37%, NVIDIA, and the semiconductors, and again, oil and gas exploration, and all of that has generated 8.64% in a 4 weeks, less than 4 weeks time frame. So it's interesting to see the
very interesting selection. Just put me in the right sector, Ben. You see it again.
Exactly what is meant. Just put them in the right sector. 12% here, and you can
by the way,
for the rest of the month.
Besides, of course, the technology, look at the semiconductors here. The AI chose the semiconductors subsectors, and it chose several semiconductor stocks, of course, before the jump. NVIDIA, Marvel, AFGO, very interesting selection here.
Yeah. So if there's any institutional clients in the crowd, please reach us by this mail or BNR at iknowfirst.com or through our website, and we'll be happy to find a solution that fits for your needs. And so that's for that. And before we're gonna see the forecast for the next month, what the algorithm thinks going to be in the next month, we're going to tell you that we have 3 more unique packages for you guys if you like to trade in crypto. We also have 4 different kind of crypto packages for you. We also have the world indices forecast. That this is more of a overview, globally overview, more than 175 main indices. And we also have a commodity and currency forecast. The commodities that was really interesting in the past 1.5 years. We also have a specific forecast for commodities. For if you guys trading on futures, you can use that as well. And of course, currencies, more than 70 currencies forecast. They also generated on a month or daily basis for you guys. All right, so before we're gonna see the forecast for the following month, I'm gonna repeat the webinar sales that we have with an update of the AI dashboard. So if you're choosing the first webinar sale, you can choose 2 packages for $349. You can change any of your packages every month. It's no commitment, and you can cancel it every time. Again, you can pick the AI dashboard and the top 10, for example. Our second webinar sale, if you're just buying the AI powered portfolio, you are getting the AI dashboard for free. The webinar sale is the 3-month subscription for $330 per month. And of course, if you get the third webinar sale, which is the AI dashboard, the AI portfolio, and two packages of your choice, you can get it in $399 per month. And this is the winning deal. And I'm telling you, you get everything you need here. You get a monthly portfolio, you get two packages that you can choose specific stocks or ETF from, and you get the dashboard to monitor this entire allocation on your entire portfolio. This combination is the winning combination, and you get this in this your really low price, $399 per month, paid annually. So this is the winning solution for you. You can also get it with one package and the AI portfolio and the dashboard for $299 per month. So it's available, of course, again for the next 24 hours. All right, the link, of course, is in the chat that you can see all the webinar deals in our website, and also you get the links in the chat here that you can click on and register to your favorite sale. So last webinar we showed you the forecast for the upcoming month. This was on 29th of March. And I think it's quite an amazing forecast because the algorithm marked here, and not just the semiconductors that jumped by 40% this month, and not just IYW, which is the technology sector that jumped by 20%, but also the Nikkei 225 that jumped by 12%, and the German DAX that went up by 8%, and the energy sector, XPS, that moved up by 11%. The energy didn't went up, was going down by 1.3%. It's not 100%. Sometimes again, the algorithm makes some mistakes, but again, this is an amazing forecast. Considering the oil prices and the energy prices are really volatile, so the rest of the forecast here is pretty amazing. XDX with 11% and the semiconductors with 39%. And this is what we showed you in the last webinar. And now we're going to see the next month forecast. And this is what the algorithms this is the algorithm forecast for the following month. And we're still seeing the semiconductors at the head of the table. XSD is semiconductor equal weight, which means that NVIDIA is with equal weight with all the others, and it's actually outperforming the market right now. IYW is a technology sector. You can see the NASDAQ, we can see capital market, we can see NASDAQ 100, XLK, software services, XSW, we can find the Buzz, IWB, which is the Russell 2000, Hack ETF, which is the cybersecurity, home builders, S&P is still positive, and IWC, we can think that the algorithm still thinks that technology is the strongest sectors for the following months, focusing on the semiconductor universe, which is pretty strong. Again, you can also find some small stocks in the Buzz and the KCE, and the IWB, which is the Russell 2000, and of course the S&P 500 is also positive for the following month. So this is the forecast for the next month by the algorithm. So use it wisely, and you can pick your packages by this forecast, of course. Use this forecast to pick the right packages. Right now, it seems that the semiconductors technology and the ETF also looks pretty good. And so that was the forecast for the following month. And now we can answer some of your questions, I think.
Okay, Ben. Yeah, as you mentioned, We do see the semiconductors there. We do see technology in general. We do see retail investing that being represented by the BaaS package. We do see the software. We do see hack cybersecurity, and it's making a very good. I mean, it's making sense to utilize it in order to choose the package. We see the semiconductors. We do have the semiconductor topics. We do have the technology. Or you can use our recommendation for that as well. Let's try to answer some questions. Um, um, okay. Did you develop? Does prediction is done by AI tool, which is created by you? Yeah, we have developed this predictive algorithm from scratch. It's being developed by our R&D team that being led by Dr. Lipa Reutemann, with over 20 years of experience in this specific field of AI, machine learning, deep learning, genetic algorithms. When did the AI algorithm last get updated? When the AI algorithm is being updated actually every day. It's every day it's gathering data from the market and learning regarding the new market regime and adapting itself to the market and to the right. And this is the reason why we actually building this complex network every day. I think there are some questions about the signal. I think you gave some guidance regarding that, Ben. What has been the best time frame to invest, or which forecast we should focus when we receiving the prediction? As said, we do suggest to start with the long-term forecast, to focus on the most predictable assets, and actually to start the selection process by using the long-term forecast, focus on the most predictable stocks and the stocks with the strongest signal as well. When was the last rebalancing of the AI portfolio, Ben?
It was last week, but I think it's a good time to join to May portfolio. Last Wednesday was the rebalance, so I think it's a good time. Still have interesting opportunities for May. I remind you, it's a 4 weeks portfolio, so hurry up and join the AI portfolio. I'm pretty sure you won't regret it, and of course, combining it with the dashboard and the two packages of your choice would be the winning solution.
Yeah, and I'm adding now a link with all the webinar deals to the chat, so it's much more easy to navigate and to see all the different deals that we are offering. And until when they are available, all the deals, Ben?
For the next 24 hours.
Next 24 hours. So 24 hours from now. And the AI dashboard is included in deal number 2, right? Yes,
Yeah.
very nice dashboard, Ben. I want to
Thank
hold
you.
this dashboard. Deal number 2 and deal number 3.
Yeah, and you're
All
getting
those.
the dashboard for free. You're getting the dashboard for free. You buy the AI portfolio, you get one packages or two packages of your choice, and you get the AI dashboard for free, or you can combine it in one of the packages that we have in the webinar cell number 1. Click on the webinar cell get into the landing page and see all the packages that you can choose. Really interesting packages that available only for the next 24 hours. The majority of the packages that you see there, you cannot find them in the website. It's special for this webinar. So click on the link, check the packages, and choose the best combination for you. And join us to use this amazing technology and navigating the market through it. And I'm sure you will get a lot of benefit out of it. And
Yes, and basically, in this webinar, we try to demonstrate and to showcase how leading hedge funds are using our AI algorithm. And I can tell you personally that I don't know any other way to identify opportunities in the market besides using the AI. It's like driving without, seeing the road for me. So I hope that it's clear now how it's possible to utilize the very same predictive algorithm that being used by leading institutionals, hedge funds, and investment houses from all over the world. And Ben, thank you very much for demonstrating and showcasing the predictive algorithm. And
you're on. And
thank you for a very interesting webinar.
yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Hope it was interesting for you, and have a good day. Bye bye,
Okay,
guys.
stay safe. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.